Hi, this is Tanya Eldert, and I have another video here about Realty Partners and another way that we make money. Again, Realty Partners is the agent-owned company, and we're focused on helping agents make more money, be more successful, and truly own their lives. So the four ways that we've been going over is your traditional real estate business, the ownership through partnership program, which I did a video on. And if you have not seen that one, go back and watch that one first. That's really where to get started. This is the second video in the series, revenue sharing with virtual teams. And then we'll do another one for the bonus program. So how does revenue sharing with virtual teams work? Well, I'm going to take the scenario of Agent Carol that we talked about in the last presentation. And Carol was an agent who also recruited other agents. So she did a few sales, but also recruited others. And throughout her year 2018 with Realty Partners, she had quite a few recruits come on and make some money. And we talked about how that contributed to her personal group volume and she was able to make partner. Well, one of the key things I want to point out about this slide that we did in the last scenario is that everything in red is revenue that has been paid to Realty Partners or the real estate help team during the year. And you see all these numbers that are in here. Carol, Bob did $34,000, Pete $1,200. You can see where everybody has made some money. Now, the only difference is that Steve, who had a $15,000 cap because he had 6 agents but no sales, Steve here did not, that $15,000 does not count, but his $1,200 a year did. And of course, any commissions, the 15% commission referral if you do a company lead, or anything, including the $10,000 paid to the help team, is all revenue. And that's what these numbers are based on. So when we go through this, I need you to get the concept. It's not just commissions. It's all the revenue paid to Realty Partners. And it's also not profit. You'll find a lot of other real estate agents who have something similar are paying off a profit, not revenue. So how does it work? Well, here's Carol, and Carol recruited 2 people. That means she has started a virtual team. The virtual team is not like a traditional team. Realty Partners has the training, it has the tools, it has the leads. Agents do not have to worry about that part of it. Virtual team means helping recruiting at least 2 people, and one on your left side and one on your right side because we have a binary program, and then anybody underneath of them. So what happens is once you get 2, then they can also help recruiting. So for example, we have Bob on the left and Angela on the right over here. And then you can see Pete came on. And what happened was Pete dropped down below Bob because here's Carol, she recruited, Pete came down here. Now Pete would help Bob. But if you notice, Bob doesn't have 2 people, so he can't even participate. However, we do have Angela over here, and Angela got 6 recruits. So she had several people, and then Steve started recruiting below her. So the only one that's actually getting payouts are Carol and Angela and Steve, who we mentioned was recruiting. Anybody else, if the person above you recruits and drops it down on your left, so this is Carol's left side and this is Carol's right side, they drop down to the bottom. So this helps those above, but it only helps if they have the 2 people. That's how the binary program works. When Carol brings on somebody new, they don't go out in a spoke underneath or to the side. They help the 2 levels underneath, depending on left or right. When an agent first becomes a virtual team leader, the first 2 are assigned, one to your left, one to your right. You get no say on that. Any person after that, you get to choose which is your weakest side to put that person on. There's a little bit of strategy with that. When we start looking at the numbers, you'll see what I mean. So let's go back and review. On left side and right side, here's some of the revenue we pulled from the other ones. Now you can see where Bob has got some good revenue flowing, Pete not so much. And her left side is where she was getting some spillover from the top. You saw them dropping. On the right side, she had Angela and Angela's recruits. And then there was Steve brought on somebody and Dawn. So they were on her right side. So what happens is, let's just suppose, I say week 1, but just say this is week 1 of April. And the left side has gotten $200. Bob and Pete each paid their $100 a month. So here you go. Now on your right side, they've been doing some closings. So there was some commission in there and somebody paid their $100 fee. Now we start paying out at $25 increments. So since it's 10%, your weakest side, that being her left right now, has to hit at least $250 for a $25 payout. So since one side is $200 and the other side is $3,400, the payout is $0. The next week, they get another $100 paid in. Maybe it was somebody from the spillover, paid another $100 in. All of a sudden, there's $300 on this side and $3,800 on this side. So suppose somebody else did a small sale or $100 fees. You never know what this is. But again, it took this number, added to it, and now it's at $3,800. Her weakest side she's paid out on, so that's $25. Now, $250 is minus from each side. $250 comes off here, and $250 comes off the right side. That leaves $50 the next week, and $3,550. Now, if there was any income from revenue coming in, it would show here. And again, remember these numbers are revenue. That includes the help team, that includes the 15% lead commissions, and your regular commissions, and your $100 a month. So if you get a week 4, you see that there was a closing. Usually if you're going to hit a couple $1,000s in 1 week and you have a small little group, somebody closed. So at this point, there's $2,050 over here and $3,550 here. They get a payout of $200 that week. That leaves $50. And then, of course, you can add another $200. So that would really be $250 because it's been 4 weeks. So these other 2 people paid in again. And this week, there's $1,550 remaining plus whatever they make. So at this point, your left side is now $200 plus $50, and you get at least a $25 check. This keeps going on week after week. You're paid out on Mondays via an e-check. It's a great system, especially when you start looking at some of the smaller numbers. Let me show you a real life example of what it looks like on our spreadsheets. So this was back in March for me, and you can March and April, excuse me. So you can see where my right side has quite a chunk of money, but my left side has not hit $250 yet. So my weekly payout is $0. After the payout, this is what's left. That carries over to the next week, and you can see that a little bit of money was added to this side and about $600 some added to that side. That means I get a $75 payout. $750 is removed from each side, and we do it again, and we do it again. And so the idea of getting a balance is there is because, like on April 30th, when you get the $7,000 equal to about the $6,000, then there's a $600 payout. Now, please realize that these numbers are not necessarily typical. I can't guarantee anybody's going to get paid anything. However, even if you're looking at 2 people and each of them paying $100 a month at a minimum, at least you're getting paid something. But, you know, as my full disclosure, this is not something that you're going to get right away. This was when I had a few recruits underneath of me, but I had been working with Realty Partners for almost a year at this point. So understand, this is not a get rich quick idea. This is for building long-term residual binary income using virtual teams. And to get started, you really need to recruit 2 people. And of course, you can build from there. So I hope this was helpful for you all to see. Now, one of the other things I want to point out, again, to re-emphasize, it's based on revenue, not profits. It's weekly, generated by the actual volume generated by the agents below you. Okay, this is below you down to infinity. If you are newer in the company and people are spilling over on each side, great for you. Keep going. That's a very good thing. Remember, you're paid out 10% on the weakest side. And there's also a leadership bonus. So if somebody below you gets a pay, for example, say that's $600. Remember that $600 check I got that one week? Well, the person who recruited me would get 10% of that. So if your direct recruit underneath of you gets paid from their binary payout, say $600, you would get a check for $60. So isn't that kind of cool? The other thing is the minimum requirements is an active associate in good standing. You have to have those two people. Remember, one on one left, one on the right. If somebody drops off, you're not getting a paycheck, or you're not getting a binary pay check. The other thing is that your weekly income cap depends on what your partnership rank is. Now, if you're not sure of your partnership rank and how you achieve it, watch the other video. However, this is to encourage people to keep recruiting, not just do two and wait for everybody underneath of you to build. Because if you only have two and you're only getting paid for what you do and those two people, then you probably might be at an associate or maybe junior partner level. Okay, you're not going to get up in those numbers, which means as it starts building, the biggest check you're going to get per week at an associate level is $2,500. Suppose there was more money in there that people were really starting to build and you were supposed to get, say, $6,000. Well, guess what? You're still getting $2,500 and the rest is just dissolving away. So that is one reason why the partnership can affect what you get paid with your virtual teams. And this program as well gets vested in 5 years and has a survivor benefit that should something happen to you before you vest, you are locked in with the current ranking you are in this system. So I hope that helps explain a little bit about how the binary payout works. I'm going to do one more video that will explain some of the bonus structure. Thanks and have a great day.